Holy smokes, I've made a big discovery, guys. I was on ESPN.com looking up some stuff, and I came across Todd McShay's wide receiver rankings, and they were so bad, they're glorious. I couldn't stop looking at them, and I had to funnel through them. And you know what? They're so bad that I had to turn it into content. And we're going to go over Todd McShay's wide receiver rankings right now. We are now on the article that has his rankings on ESPN Plus. Before we dig into this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop me a like, help the video out on the algorithm. This is a different Dynasty Fantasy Football channel that you'll ever see on the internet. I go deep in the mock drafts, rankings, very consistent with the content. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. I hit you with different angles. Just like this isn't even Dynasty Fantasy Football focused, but we just got to go over this. We got to go over his rankings and try to make some sense out of this. I want to know what you guys think about his rankings in the comments, but let's dig deep into this. Let's look down at these rankings here. So we're going down. Todd McShay right there, senior writer. I'm not bluffing you. I'm not lying. Here's his top overall guys. We're gonna go past this. We're gonna go past this because we also got his top 10 at each position. That's where we're gonna focus at for now. We got a good picture of Mel Kiper right there with the hair slicked back. Okay, quarterbacks, running backs, good peep at them. But here at the wide receivers, I'm gonna read these off. Drake London, wide receiver 1, not outside normal. Garrett Wilson, number 2. Fine. Chris Olave, 3. We've seen that in rankings. We've seen him go in the first round. Treylon Burks, 4. 4 is low compared to the Dynasty Fantasy Football community. Draft community, it's right around average-ish. Sometimes a little higher or shade lower. Jameson Williams, 5. Jahan Dotson, 6. Everything's normal now. 7, we got Christian Watson from the Senior Bowl, where he went off there. 8 is John Mechie. 9 is Jalen Tolbert. And 10, we got the 5'7" Calvin Austin. We're missing George Pickens. We're missing David Bell. And then there's a few others that you could probably make the case for to be in this top 10 in the rankings. Let me know who else should be in this in the comments. But here's his wide receiver rankings. I was doing an article on George Pickens for DynastyLeagueFootball.com. I was doing the write-up, and I was looking for some added information to throw in there. I was like, you know what? Let's check rankings out. Let's check rankings. Let's see how he's ranked with some of these people. Came across Todd McShay's. I was like, where's George Pickens? Where's George Pickens? Now I'm playing Where's Carmen Sandiego with George Pickens right here in Todd McShay's rankings, and he's nowhere to be found. Where is Waldo in Todd McShay's rankings? This dude right here, where is he? Well, we come down here in the bottom part of the article. Where is it at? I'm ahead of myself. We come above here, scroll back up. We got a little link. We're going to click. We're going to click this here link right. Where's that at? Where's that at? It's down here at the bottom. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. So it's over here. See my full rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft Class. Boom. It's pulled up right here. And again, checks out with the rankings that we have on the other page. And I keep scrolling. I'm looking for Pickens. Where's he at? Where is he at? He is all the way here at 100. Again, if this was a draft, he'd be a top 100 player. Day 2 pick still. Not bad. Round 3-ish. The thing is, who's he got ahead of him? Outside the top 10, he's got him at wide receiver 16 in his rankings. Who's ahead of him? Sky Moore. Velus Jones from Tennessee. Like who's doing that? I've never seen anybody rank Jones ahead of George Pickens. Romeo Doubs. David Bell's low in his rankings, but that's not to be a surprise. I think he's got him at like wide receiver 11 or 12 there. 11 since Austin's there and he was 10. Behind him, though, wide receiver wise, Alec Pierce, Justin Ross. Just think this is the worst set of wide receiver rankings I've seen so far on the internet. I mean, there's some bad ones. I bet Walter Football's got some bad wide receiver rankings out there, as they always do. Hate to slam them, because usually they're comical, but it is what it is. But man, George Pickens at a 100, what did he do to you? What did he do to you for you to have this little confidence in him? Are you just waiting for him to just have another season at Georgia? What does he need to do, really? I mean, you don't have to have him rated super high. You don't have to have him as your top guy. But wide receiver 16 after everything he flashed during his sophomore and freshman season. The thing about here is I don't know why people hate on David Bell so much in their rankings, like the NFL draft community. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why they don't like David Bell. When we watch him on tape, everything checks out. The metrics check out. I think he's being slept on by a lot of draft analysts. I don't get it. Maybe there's something that we're not seeing and it'll come out during the combine. Maybe there's something up. But there's no way in hell I'm putting Calvin Austin ahead of David Bell. I just cannot do it. No way in hell I'm putting John Mechie ahead of David Bell. I get it. People love him. I like Jalen Tolbert. I don't want to hate on him. I like the South Alabama product. But I'm not putting him ahead of David Bell. I like him. I like him as a small school prospect. I don't hate Christian Watson either. But I'm not a big fan of just promoting guys up heavy at the Senior Bowl or after the Senior Bowl. We have years of all this tape. We have years of production. And then all it takes is one All-Star game and 1 week of practices. And you're going to move up that high, get it size-adjusted speed, size-adjusted athleticism, size-adjusted agility. He's got that. One of the few wide receivers in this class that has prototypical wide receiver one size, whatever that is anymore, because usually they're a little smaller these days for the wide receiver ones, but the old school prototypical size, we can say it that way, that's what Christian Watson has. But better than George Pickens? Better than George Pickens, really. Really, Todd McShay. I really think you got your cart before the horse. I am not really happy about these rankings. Very suspect here. Imagine there's going to be lots of changes. I feel like everything with his evaluations on these players are probably incomplete. Let's go back. The whole list of the top 100 is kind of big for me to really process, to go over with you guys. Let's drop down here to the running backs. When I looked at them, they kind of made sense. But I felt like, why did I go back to the top here? So, I feel like a boomer. But here we go. Quarterbacks here. Kind of makes sense. Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett 2, Matt Corral 3, Corral, Sam Howell 4, Desmond Ridder 5, Carson Strong 6. That makes sense. Not too far outside the line. There's some guys missing out here in the top 10 that I probably would rather have. But all in all, it's okay. Running back, Isaiah Spiller, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, big three. So how we call them. James Cook 4. It's kind of high. There's just some other ancillary jabronis that you can pump up there. Head of James Cook because we got the size. But I've been saying it all draft season long that a lot of people have been pegging him to get higher draft capital than what we're expecting. Maybe this is part of it. Kyron Williams 5. Not totally against it. A lot of people have him in the 4 or 5 range in the rankings. Damien Pierce, big jump up from the Senior Bowl. A lot of people loving on him. Brian Robinson Jr., Abram Smith, Tyler Beatty. I mean, I don't hate it, but there's just other running backs too. I like Jerome Ford at 6. I think Jerome Ford is a guy that gets slept on by some people, and some people value him pretty well, and he's an interesting prospect. I feel like there's some other running backs that I'm not thinking of that I like better that should be up in the top 10, but really, once you get out of the big 3, he's missing Tyler Algier. I wonder why he's not valued in the top 10. 1,600 yards, 220-pound running back. He's not a pass-catching specialist, but he's hot passes in his career. I think he got 28 last year or whatever. But just guys missing out. So quarterback and running back, they're okay. Wide receiver, though. Woo! That's burning us up alive. Tight end's not horrible. Whittemire at 4, Likely at 2. A lot of people have been talking about Likely. McBride. Rucker at 5. This tight end class isn't super strong, but it's not horrible. It's kind of sneaky. Charlie Kohler here at 8. I figured he'd be up higher a little bit. He's up a little. I like him a little bit higher up on my board. I just want to see what the NFL likes about him because he has been productive at Iowa State. But honestly, when I'm looking at Todd McShay's rankings, these wide receivers stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm not in love with it. I hate it. These are one of the worst wide receiver rankings I've ever seen. Especially the George Pickens hate. That is wide receiver 16. He's done some dumb shit. He's got suspended for like a quarter or something, right? He squirted water on somebody before. I mean, he's done little dumb things, but it's nothing to really knock him down the rankings. I'm trying to figure out what Todd McShay is thinking here. But I don't think he's really complete in his player evaluations and everything's not there. Or something's up. Or I don't know. But I know a lot of times these guys are off on the rankings early on. They start to sharpen up later in the process. Or they just not always have it together. And it is what it is. I'm not always right either. You're not always right either. But he's definitely not right at all. So it is what it is. But I want to thank you for watching the show. Sticking with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'm here to help you with your Dynasty Fantasy Football teams. I'm here to make you entertained. And again, I want to thank you. And I'll catch you next time.